Hello guys, this is Deepika from mytutorialrack.com. In this tutorial, we will try to fix the vague commit we did in the previous tutorial. Adding all those changes in one commit with a generic message is a very bad practice. So let's see how we can resolve this using Git. So before jumping into that, I'm going to go ahead and create a file and I will call it as green.html. So I'm going to go ahead and save it as green.html and then save. The contents of the green.html will be, so this is my green.html. If you want to go ahead and look it up in the browser, you can just go to the green.html here and then open with the browser. And this is how the green.html looks like. If you click on return to the home page, it takes you to the index.html. So right now, this index.html does not have a link for the green page. It has a link to the yellow page, but it does not have the link to the green page. So I'm going to go back to my website and I'm going to go ahead and change my index.html to include the link for the green page as well. So I'm going to go ahead and call it as the green page and it will link to the green.html. So I'm going to go ahead and link this to the green.html. Let's go ahead and look it up the changes in the browser. So now if you go ahead and refresh your page, you will see that there is a link for the green page got added. And now if I go ahead and click on that link, it takes you to the green page. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and add these changes to the new dash pages branch. So I'm going to go ahead and commit and stage this snapshot. So to do that, the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to do a git add. If you look at the status, you will see that there are some uncommitted changes and you have modified this particular file and there is a new file that has been added. So now we're going to go ahead and do a git add and pass these two files to it, HTML as well as the index.html. Once you do that, then it will ask you to commit these changes. So to commit it, we'll specify git commit with the message I'm going to go ahead and do will be added the green page. So this is my commit that I have done. Now if you go ahead and look at the log commit history, you will see that there is one generic. If you go ahead and refresh it, so as you can see that there is a very generic message that I have, add new HTML pages. This message does not tell you that we have added what pages and what kind of changes we have done. This particular specifies that okay, we have added a green page, etc. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and kind of rewrite our commit history, and then we'll see how we can adjust this history so it gives us a good messages. So to do that, we will use our interactive rebase command that we talked about earlier. And instead of saying add new HTML pages, I want it to say add new green page, or I wanted to say add new yellow page or add new red page. Okay, and based on what changes we have done, I wanted to go ahead and look the commit messages to look like this. So to do that, first the command that we're going to use, we're going to be interactive rebase, and to achieve this we can use the same interactive rebase method we learned earlier in the previous tutorial, but this time we will actually create commits in the middle of the rebasing procedure. So before that, what we did was we kind of changed the messages, etc. But this time we will change the commit itself in the middle of the rebasing. So first thing is I'm going to go ahead and enter the command git rebase -i master. So this is the command I'm going to go ahead and provide. Okay, so as you can see, there are two different commits that we have done. And what I wanted to do is I will take this into the insert mode. So I'll enter Shift I. Now I'm in the insert mode. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the second commit where it says, the first commit where it says add new HTML pages. I want it to stop it right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change this to edit. So first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and remove this and replace it with edit. Now what does this edit do? it'll use this commit but stop for amending. So I want my rebasing to stop at this point so I can make changes, and then I will go ahead and continue from there. So I want the rebasing to stop at the first commit itself, so that's why I've used edit command here. Now we are done with the change. We're going to go ahead and enter. We'll come out of the insert mode, and then I'm going to say save and close, and it's going to go ahead and save the changes. And now it tells me it stopped at this, the first commit that we did. So it stopped at that particular commit, because what we did was we have told through the rebasing that, okay, I wanted to edit this particular commit. And this commit message was add new HTML pages. But in this add new HTML pages, you have added multiple pages. You have added the, I think, the yellow and the red page. But we wanted to go ahead and split those commits in 2 different steps. And the step number 1 will be all the red page changes, and the step number 2, the yellow page things. So we're going to go ahead and divide or split our one commit into 2 separate commits. So how are we going to go ahead and do that? But instead of making changes to this particular commit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this particular commit. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove this entire commit by using a reset command. And this reset command, I'm going to go ahead and use a mix flag. And then I'm going to say head tilted sign and then 1. Now what does command do? This git reset command moves the checked out snapshot to a new commit, and this head dash tilted sign 1 that you see, that particular parameter tells it to reset to the commit that occurs immediately before the current head. So I'll repeat this thing. The git reset command moves the checked out snapshot to a new commit, and the parameter head tilted 1 tells it to reset to the commit that occurs immediately before the current head. Okay, so in this particular case, this head version or number 1 happens to coincide with the master. Is exactly same as what we had in the master, so it's going to go ahead and revert it back to that thing. Now if you remember, we used the git reset with a -- hard flag earlier to undo the uncommitted changes to our project. The hard flag told Git to make the working directory look exactly like the most recent commit. Now that gives us the effect of removing uncommitted changes. But this time we are not using the hard flag, we are using the mix flag to preserve the working directory, which contains the changes we want to separate. So we are not actually removing everything, we are keeping those changes, but we are going to go ahead and use those changes, but we're going to do a different commit. So basically we can say that the head moved, but the working directory remained unchanged. So that working directory still has our changes. Whatever the things that we add, it still has those red page addition and everything else. So this basically resulted in a repository with uncommitted modifications. Now what we can do is we can add the red.html and yellow.html file to two different commits instead of 1. So what we're going to do here is we will split the generic commit. Okay, so let's go ahead and once we enter this command, so now it tells you unstate the changes after the reset. So now if you go ahead and if you look at git log -- 1 line, what you're going to see here is it does not have any idea about adding of those yellow and the red pages, etc. But if you look at your repository, you will see that there is still those pages that you just added. It has the red page, it has the blue page, it has or whatever the changes that you have added. Now if you look at your index.html file right now, okay, now if you look at the index.html, it has those red pages and the yellow pages, whatever you have added. But if you look at your commit history, it does not have any idea about those changes, because what we did here is we used this git reset -- mix command. What we told this command is basically we told her that to preserve the working directory, whatever the changes we have made, preserve those changes. But what we moved is the head has moved. Okay, the head only has moved, but still whatever the changes we made, we still have those changes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and split our generic commit that we have done before. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and open my index.html file, And in this index.html file, what I'll do is I do not want anything related to the yellow page because that added later on. Okay, so this is my index.html page. Now what I've done is I have removed the yellow page link here because I do not want it to be one single commit. So I want the red page stuff in a different commit and the yellow page stuff in a different commit. So I removed my yellow page link here. Now what we can do here is, now we already had red page and we have the link for the red page. So this thing can be done as one commit. So now what we're going to do here is we are going to go ahead and add this red.html and index.html again, because we're going to do this together in one commit. See, yellow.html is a separate file, but we have kind of split our generic commit here. So earlier the addition of red file, addition of yellow file, and addition of those links to the index.html were put together in one single commit with the message that added new HTML files. That's it. Now what we are doing here is we are kind of splitting our commits into two different parts. The everything related to the red page I'm going to put together, and the everything related to the yellow page I'm going to go ahead and put it together in a different commit. So what I'm doing here is I went ahead and removed my commit that I did earlier, and now, but not by using a reset command, completely remove the whole commit. It has all the changes that I did, but it does not have a committed ones right now. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I have removed the yellow page link here, and now I'm going to go ahead and check these changes in. So to do that, I'm going to say git add the red.html and the index.html files. So I'm going to go ahead and add these changes. Okay, if you look at the status here, it tells you you're in Interactive Rebase. Okay, you are still in progress, and you don't have to worry about this. But we have the changes that we need to commit here. So how we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and say git commit -m. Now the message I'm going to say is add the red page. This is the message for my first commit. Okay, I'm still in the rebasing mode. Okay, and it's the rebasing made it stop at the first commit that we did. Okay, and now what I did is I split down that commit. I removed the yellow pages stuff from the index.html, and I'm only committing the red page and the index.html without the yellow page link in this commit. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Now the next thing we will do here is we will add our yellow page link back to this index.html, and then that will be the next commit. So I'm going to go ahead and add my yellow page link again. So this is my yellow.html, and here it will have the yellow page. So I'm adding back this link. The yellow page is already there because it did not remove the reset command this time, did not remove our changes. It just moved the head to the previous commit. Okay, so we did not remove anything. The changes are still there, but the commit has been removed. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to go back, and now we're going to go ahead and add this into a separate commit. Okay, so git add the index.html. We're going to go ahead because we modified here. So if you go ahead and look at the status, it will tell you that you have modified index.html. Okay, and there's this yellow.html that needs to be added. So I'm going to go ahead and git add the yellow.html you can do, and then the index.html. So now we have added, and then I'm going to go ahead and commit these changes. The message that I wanted to go ahead and display, it would be added the yellow page. So instead of one generic commit, we kind of have now split that commit into two parts. And now if you go ahead and look at that commit history, you will see that now it has two different commits: add the red page, add the yellow page. Okay, now we are, if you look at the status, we are in the middle of the rebasing. Now what we want to do here is, now we will go ahead and continue with our rebasing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to say git rebase -- continue flag, and it will continue the remaining rebase. If you look at this one more time, you will see add the green page, because we did not do anything. That was fine, that was good. Green page, and then add the yellow page, add the red page. So now here exactly we know what we did in each commit. So to summarize what we did in this tutorial, we removed the bad commit from the current branch with the git reset. Okay, but we kept the HTML files intact because we used the -- mixed flag. With the mixed flag, it kind of reset the commit. Okay, but we had all the changes that we made. And then what we did is we committed those changes in separate snapshots with the usual git add and the git commit commands. First thing, with the interactive rebase, we edit that commit, so the rebasing stopped at that point. Then we split our commit, and then we gave it new messages to do the commit, and then we just committed those changes just the normal way that we have done. So this is how this interactive rebase can also be helpful when you do some generic commits and you want to come back and redo some of the stuff. This is a powerful way to do that.